Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. I'm Dr. Gail and Susie and Danny Shay's in the house. So thanks for joining us, Danny. And this today is Ask the Aliens. We will be doing questions that we'll be asking the aliens and not personal questions today. Susie's going to start off with her questions to give you an example of what kind of questions we're going to be answering today. And Danny and I will try to answer the best we can. So, Susie, let me say hello to some people. Hey, Bora Bora, thank you. Hey, Susan Fonet, I don't know, is it Funes, Funes? How do you say her last name? Funes? Either one of y'all know? Hey, Elizabeth.
I'm pulling up the chat now, so.
I forgot to ask you, did you want to connect to StreamYard on your end, Danny?
Now you ask me.
You still can. It's up there. I mean,
no, because I get trolls.
Oh, you get trolls? Okay. So, really?
Yeah.
I'm amazed that I don't get that many.
Yeah, and so I have to. So before I hook up to StreamYard, I have to adjust who can comment. Like you have to be a subscriber for 10, 20 minutes or whatever. Otherwise, in slow mo.
Yeah. Mine, I have it as 1 minute. They have to. Anyway. Okay. Well, I think we'll try that next time. Hey, Debbie Joyce. Hey, White Dragon. Hey, Mary. Hey, Jen Carr. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, Juno. Hey, Lightwalker. And thanks as we heal each other by Purette White. Thanks for joining us today. And let's see. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Millie. And let's see who else we got here today. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. We're taking general questions, Ask the ET, not personal questions today. Hey, Akila B24. Hey, Emmy J. Hey, Spirit Detective. Hey, Lulu Bubble. Hey, Libby Lou. Hey, Libby Lou. Lulu Bubble and Libby Lou. That's a tongue twister there.
Libby Lou.
Hey, Sharon Robinson. Hey, Hypnicity. Hey, Prince Charming's mom and Debbie Joyce.
Bonjour.
Hey, Sharon Robinson. Amanda Carroll. Inkar. And Nancy. Look, Nancy Jean's here too.
Hey, Nancy.
Thanks for hey, Laura. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Thank you. And as I said, today we're doing Ask the Aliens. Susie will start off. We're not taking personal questions today. We're just doing Ask the Aliens. And Danny and I will be answering the questions the best we can. And I love these shows because y'all ask questions I wouldn't even think about asking. So it's just great. But anyway, Susie, you go ahead and start with your questions or question. Susie is caught off guard because we did not communicate, or I didn't communicate well. So she doesn't even know what questions she is.
No, you told me that I wasn't going to be on screen today.
And she is on screen.
Actually, you changed your mind a couple times.
Okay. All right. So anyway,
sounds like an alien problem to me.
Okay. She is on screen, and she didn't know she was going to be on screen, but we always love her help, and she always has great questions. So, Susie, go ahead, give it to us. What you got?
All right. Here's a very general question, because the channel's supposed to be about ET experiences, helping people through their ET experiences, and also helping people ascend. Can you explain why ascension is important?
Oh,
you shifted. You shifted that question. I was expecting the one that you talked about backstage, and you shape-shifted that question.
Just wait.
You threw me off guard, Susie.
You're supposed to, Danny. So it's a very natural answer.
So what's the question again?
Can you explain why ascension is important? Because the ETs are helping us ascend. Can you explain it to anybody?
I'm going to do real simple, and Danny can elaborate. Earth is going to ascend with us or without us. So we might as well ascend with them. So that's why they're here helping us, because Earth is going to ascend, and we're to join the Galactic Federation, and we have to get rid of some things and join them. And the ascension process is part of us going ahead and joining the Galactic Federation. And as I said, Earth is going to ascend with or without us, so we might as well join it. So, Danny, you go ahead. You'll have a much more elaborate explanation for this.
So, and when I mean, let me first just throw the cards out. I pulled 3 cards, and I mean, so this is, I went to the Redundant School of Redundancy, and I've been saying that a lot recently because what Gail said, it's assistance. They're moving up, and whether we go up or not, but they are offering us assistance. They are offering us some type of union, and it's all about love. So if we can't raise our vibration to where theirs is, it's that, from my understanding, they follow the law of one, they follow the law of love, and our vibration is so much lower that we can't even see them because we're not in that vibration of love, assistance, union, all of that. We're fighting it, we're questioning it. So as soon as we get to raise our vibration, then we can blend with them, but we can't do it with our current vibration of ego, doubt, fear, hate.
Well, I've got a question for you, Danny.
Uh-oh.
And this is something I haven't brought up at all, but for some reason they keep showing me this today or this last few minutes, is that the ETs don't have the lower chakras. They don't have the root, the sacral. They don't have the root and the sacral, the earth star. They don't have those chakras. Can you pull cards to see why that is? Or those chakras, I'm getting that those chakras are the direct connection to earth. And that's what those 2 chakras are, or 3, those 3. So, but I'm seeing the ETs don't have those chakras. Theirs starts at the solar plexus, and their heart is the largest chakra. Like ours look all about the same. Theirs is their heart chakra is probably 3 times the size of ours, which is, I don't know why they're showing me all this right now.
Let me see if I can make some sense out of this. There was why don't they have the lower chakras? When you mentioned that their chakra starts at the solar plexus and their heart chakra is the biggest one, that is their grounding mechanism with their heart chakra, with love. In that they made and this is interesting, and it talks about the ascension process. They made a choice, and I don't know if you can even read this. This is feast and plenty of plenty, choices and their consequences. And I don't know if you can read them. It doesn't make sense showing them on the camera, but they made a choice to focus in on the chakras, on what was really important to them, and so they don't need all of the chakras to align themselves.
So are those lower 3 chakras 3D, and is that what just connects us to Earth? I think would be my question.
Yeah, I think it is the negative self that heals our negative self, the self in us that we disparage and we say we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, I'm not skinny enough, not fat enough, all that stuff. And so when they let that go and fixed that and forgave themselves, then it put them into the higher realm, the higher divine matrix. So yeah, they don't need those lower chakras. They focus on the higher intentionality of it.
Right.
Did that make any sense at all?
It does make sense. And as I said, I've known this for a long time. For some reason, they're just wanting me to bring it up now, because I have not seen them with those lower chakras like we have. I've always seen that heart chakra being so big and lacking. And I just assumed that it was our connection to Earth, that they are not connected to Earth.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they would lose that because they don't have all that negative. They've gotten rid of all the negative, the wars, the whatever, and that negative self-talk probably, and that they are able to come more from the heart.
Yeah, and it feels like, for me, whenever I get into a place that needs repair, whether it's an anger issue, whether it's an ego issue or anything, I always go into nature and I always ground myself in nature. And if they have ascended from that kind of thought that is a lacking thought, then yeah, they wouldn't need that.
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder what the Earth thinks of that, though, because
Well, that's a good question. What does the Earth think of the chakras? Okay, well, easier question. Will we and Earth lose those lower chakras as we ascend?
Wow.
And I'm getting yes. Throw some cards on that.
Yeah, well, so what? Tell me the question.
Okay. Will we lose those lower chakras as the Earth ascends?
Yes, that's what I'm hearing too.
Which is interesting that we will lose that. And okay, well, our hearts grow 3 times. Okay, I think that's what oh gosh, I'm getting a big yes on this. This is kind of what they're waiting for us to join the Galactic Federation, for us to start losing that. Wow.
I want to see what Earth's role will be when we ascend.
Okay, but I'm getting that we will still be connected to Earth. It will not interfere with our relationship with Earth. It's just that will be losing that kind of part of us, that self-talk.
Right.
But it doesn't, and they're showing me that our connection to Earth will be higher. And they're showing me that the roots will be coming up through our solar plexus to our heart chakra, and our connection will be coming from our heart. That's what they're showing me. I wonder why in the world they want me to talk about this today. I mean, as I said, I've seen it for a long time, but why today? Maybe it's you, Danny.
So they're wagging their finger at me saying, come on now, pulling me up. So the question I asked was, what's Earth's role going to be when we start ascending, when we start not needing our grounding chakras, the root chakras, the lower chakras. And it's all about getting back to integrity, moving out of stagnation. And then there is the right use of power and having so much abundance, using the abundance correctly and using power correctly. So there's still a power center in with the earth, it's just going to be at such a higher level.
Yeah.
That is, it's just not for healing, but it's, I don't know. I got the lost compass moving back into integrity. So it's still going to help guide us to that higher place. And this is, I just lost the word. This is a karmic thing. This is a part of the contract that we wrote as when we signed up for this, that we are going to be ascending, and it's going to happen, as you said, whether with or without us.
Exactly.
In this lifetime.
Here Millie says, here we go down the rabbit hole.
Oh boy, yeah.
Okay. All right. Susie, did you have any more questions?
Yeah, but a couple of people have follow-ups.
Oh, okay.
What about here?
Oh, does that mean they will lose their sexuality? I don't think so. Juno, I think that's a no. I'm almost sure that's a no. Will they lose their sexuality? No, they won't. They'll still have that. It's just everything's going to be coming more from the heart. Okay. Go ahead, Susie.
Okay. I think we touched on this a little bit on another show, but there have been reports of huge lit up cities deep under the ocean. Can you tell us anything about that, or who is down there?
Well, yeah, there are lots of cities down in the ocean, ET cities. And I'm not sure if they have more of a question than that, but there are. I mean, the ETs are in the ocean, and we are just now getting down to where we can see them, or they've already been seeing them. But we're just now admitting to it, or people are admitting to seeing them. But they've been there, and I've been to quite a few of them, those cities down in the ocean, and I love going down in the ocean and visiting them. But that answer to that question is yes, there are cities down in the ocean.
And for me, when you want to see that type of stuff, and you and I had talked about this, but the cards I pulled just redundant. Frequency shift, recognition. So we've got to shift our frequency recognition. And just in case we didn't get that, we need to shift our frequency shifting.
Yeah.
So when we get underwater, and I know this for a fact, the first time you get underwater, it's like, oh shit, oops, I shouldn't cuss. It's oh crap. Either way, I'm gonna die. All I want to do is make it to the surface. My point of being underwater with a scuba tank is to stay here for 10 minutes till I run out of air and then make it to the surface alive.
I never had that reaction.
What's that?
I never had that reaction.
I would say
80%
of the people.
I was more like, let's go. Come on.
Yeah. But a lot of them have that fear, even though they're like, oh, that was so cool. But then when you get into it, they're like, yeah, I'm glad I came up. The second, third, fourth time, when you get to get comfortable in that new medium, then you get to shift things, and then you start seeing things that you've never seen, that you just went over and passed over. And when we're talking about these underwater cities, I think it's a frequency shift that we have to have up here so that we can actually feel, understand, use the clairs to get that city in focus.
Well, when I visited Atlantis, when they took me down to visit Atlantis, which was off the Fiji Islands, and the city was like water densities because you could kind of see through it. And when I asked them, you're just right off the Fiji Islands, why doesn't anybody see you? And they said, you have to be invited to come in before you can see us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, so I'm glad I was invited, but I thought that was big that they are there, but that invitation had to be there, and their water. I mean, you could see through the walls, and each place was a different density of water, but it was actually a whole city, and I thought that was fascinating. But that resonated with me when they said you have to be invited in. So I do think we have to raise our vibration to be invited in.
Yeah. And maybe you need to bring a welcoming gift.
Yeah, maybe so. I was taken so off guard that that's where I was going. I did not have a welcoming gift, and I was, and it was the first meeting that I was going to that I was actually like the Surgeon General. I was over all the medical spaceships, and I was representing them, and I was sitting in this meeting in Atlantis, and I was having to give a report on all these hospitals, and I was really nervous. And this blue hand came over to me and put it on top of mine and says, "It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay." Because we were sitting in a table of like 20 people, 20 ETs. I was the only human there, and then we had like an auditorium full, and they went all the way up, different ETs with different breathing apparatuses. But so I'm assuming that they all got invited there. But I thought that was amazing that you can't see them until they invite you in. So it probably has to be your energy level before you get invited. I'm not sure why I was so privileged to go, but I had a job to do. And I met the king and the queen. The king and queen came and met me, and the queen left, and the king actually gave me the tour and showing me all the different rooms and the different densities, and sitting in chairs were like a thicker type of water. It was fascinating.
Yeah. When I experienced something like that in diving in salt water, and then there was a freshwater meeting point, and it was so weird because it looked like there was a wall right in front of you, and then you could swim through the wall into a different density of water.
Wow.
And it was crystal clear. So you'd have crystal clear salt water and swim through to crystal clear fresh water, but you couldn't see. It was like a barrier. You couldn't see through it.
Wow. That's pretty fascinating.
And the other thing with, being invited in, I've been hearing a lot of, well, you only hear what you allow yourself to hear, So if you're not ready to hear something, no matter how many times you're told it, you're not hearing it. I think it's the same thing with seeing, and you need to be invited. You need to raise your vibration up so that you're allowed to be invited into.
Yeah, well, I wish I had known I was going to have that invitation so I could have taken them a gift. But I had a dolphin show up, and then I had to go from the dolphin to the whale because the dolphin couldn't go as deep as the whale. And then I went down, and as I said, I would love to have had a gift, but I was caught off guard going in there.
Can I ask you a personal question?
I said, Annie Bear says, always bring a gift. That's true. If not caught off guard like I was.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Oh, good. Let me think.
Oh, no, on air. You're asking a question on air.
So, did you check your pockets?
For a gift? This is how I was. Now, did I check my pockets? No.
So when I do journeys, I'm always liking to leave gifts, and sometimes I forget to say, "Oh, pack a gift," but then I'll just say, "Stick your hand in your pocket, and there's a gift in there," and there always is. There always is a gift.
I wish I had even thought about that, but as I said, I was so mesmerized and then nervous when I had to go into this meeting. So I had every emotion going on with me, except for thinking about a gift in my pocket.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But this morning when I went on my journey, I actually took heart-shaped rose quartz on my journey for gifts today. and they were loving that.
Oh yeah.
And that's the first time I'd taken anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm always surprised when they get. I'm surprised that when they take the gift and they go, it always seems to be, oh, well, that's kind. Thank you. I mean, there's not much emotion to it, but
No.
when I get the gift, it's like, whoa, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, today was the first emotion that I got with that rose quartz, that heart-shaped rose quartz that I took. And because it's just like what you said, they're just getting, oh, well, thank you, kind of thing. This morning it was different. But that, they really, really liked that. So, all right, you ready for the next question?
Yeah.
This is the question Danny really wants now.
Uh-oh.
How do the hybrid ships and alien ships protect themselves?
Can you pull that question up for Susie so I can read it?
That's my question.
Oh, that's your question. Okay, go ahead. Do it again. Say it again.
How do hybrid ships and alien ships or protect themselves from hostilities?
I don't understand what the difference is between hybrid and alien ships.
Well, the first ship that both of us were on was a hybrid ship. It was the Astro Medical one. It was all hybrids. It was different mixed ETs, humans, and everything. So it was called a hybrid ship. And that's where I found out that I was actually a hybrid because everybody who works on that ship was a hybrid, was how I was told. And what I'm seeing, Susie, is that we're exposed mostly to the medical side of it, so they don't really have to protect themselves, but they have the ability to. They're showing that they can camouflage, that they can cloak, they can camouflage is their protection, and that's, I'm just getting a big yes on that. That's how the medical ships. Now the other ships, they have, in fact, White Dragon talks about a lot of how they're protected. He's more of an expert on the part of the military side of protection of the ships, but they have all sorts of devices to protect themselves. But a lot of the protection, it comes from cloaking, just not being seen is what I'm being shown. All right, Daniel, what you got?
I'm going to go with you. I'm not getting much clarity on it. So
you're saying there's not really a force field they might have?
Well, it's kind of the same, the cloaking, force field, whatever around the medical ships. The medical ships don't really have to worry about being attacked that much. And they're showing me is they can literally disappear or they're not seen at all. It's their best thing. So like if there's some kind of war going on, the military ships show themselves and we go and hide and we go invisible. We have a cloak. We have our protection around us, but our biggest protection is the fact that we can go invisible. Does that answer your question?
And like just any generic ET ship, it's just being invisible?
I'm just talking about the medical ships.
Okay.
The medical ships.
Well, that's why I tried to separate them a little bit.
Okay, so the medical ships, their best thing is that whenever something's happening, they can go invisible. They have a force field, they have all that kind of stuff, but their best line of security or action is that they can go invisible. And so they just disappear and they let the military take over any kind of action that needs to be required. And of course, White Dragon's in there and he's saying there are force fields and stealth capabilities. They have all sorts of things that they can do. It's just that the medical side, we are not military. So as I said, our best action is we have the force fields and everything, but our best action is going invisible, just not being seen.
Is there a sound component to that cloaking device?
Let me see. I don't know a bunch about engineering is not my thing. and I'll put it out there because people ask me that question. But yes, they're saying yes, there is.
Yeah.
But they will show me all these things that people ask me questions on that kind of side, and they laugh at me because I don't understand it. Okay, all right. You want to know about this list? Well, you take it and go in this room and you just look at it and you just figure it out, and then you're like, I'm not an engineer.
They laugh at you. Where's their higher love?
They look at me all the time and they go, "She's so human," all the time. But yeah, I mean, they'll take me anything. People were asking about propulsion systems and all. They'll take me and show it to me, and they go, "Okay, go ahead and relay that to everybody." Just laugh. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about the secrets coming out of me because I can understand them.
But you were referring mainly to the hybrid ships, right?
Medical ships, hospital ships, all hospital ships.
Well, the other part of my question, do you have any idea about, say, a non-hybrid?
A non-medical spaceship is what you're asking. A non-medical, right?
Non-medical or just a non-hybrid ship?
Well, the thing is the hybrid ships there's a hybrid ship, but there's also the hospitals that are just Arcturian, hospitals that are just Palladian, a hospital ship that's just Syrian. There are all sorts of, the hybrid ship is just the one we have been associated with because we're hybrids and we work on those. But there are all sorts of other hospital ships that, in fact, that's my job when I'm on the alphabet now, is triaging where they go, where somebody who's injured or sick, which hospital they go to. So all these hospital spaceships have this capacity of going invisible. I think you're trying to figure out that we are not warriors. We don't go to war. We don't fight. We don't do anything. We go invisible. We have our protection. All the hospital spaceships, all the medical spaceships. Now the other ones that you're talking about are more military or other spaceships that have the capacity to fight. We don't. And that's why we're joined on the Athena with the military side and the medical side. The military splits off, goes off and does their thing while we go hide. We go either over Mount Shasta is a big place where we go, and we hide. We go invisible. We hide. We're just accepting the patients. And they're not interested in interfering with the hospital spaceships. They're looking more at the military. Am I explaining it to you yet, Susie? Are you getting it? Am I answering your question?
No, I totally understand that, but I'm past the hybrid ships. Just say there's from a faraway universe, a spaceship comes with maybe a race we don't even know. Maybe we do. I mean, I was just trying to see if you had any idea about that. It's not important. We can go on.
No, I'm obviously I'm not understanding your question because I feel like.
Say there's some ETs just from another universe or galaxy, not a hybrid ship, not military per se, maybe just exploring, but maybe they have a defense mechanism on their ship. So
you're asking how we protect ourselves from them?
No, how they would protect themselves.
Well, you just said it. They have a defense system on their ship.
Okay, they just said, okay, that's it. You're good. Okay. We have a bunch of questions from the chat if you'd like to start that.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Debbie Joyce, Love and Light. Today is my 42nd anniversary.
Woohoo!
We'll try to catch the light. Did you find out anything about the apolescent large eyes bigger than a gray bean?
Well, Debbie Joyce, I think you've asked this question before, and I didn't get much except for that they were part of the grays. And there's so many different kinds of grays. So they've come from that star system, I think. As I'm discovering, there are 3, 4, but now I'm thinking there's actually could be hundreds or 1,000 different races among that. So they're related to the grays, but they're not the grays. But I haven't gotten any more information about them except for that. That's all they want to tell me is that they're from that star system and they're not the grays, what we classify as the grays, but they are related to them. Danny, do you have anything more on that?
I don't. I do have my picture I can show you.
Yeah, show us a picture. Show and tell.
So this was one of my first forays into opening up to ET stuff. And a lot of times I sit outside and I look at the stars, and there'll be like different shapes of clouds. And I go, that looks like a great big old ET looking at me. And I tell Dr. Gail, and
I remember you telling me about the hot tub with that bee looking at you.
yeah, and I'm like, how weird is that? And
Yeah,
I tried to take
there must be something to see. Is what I said.
right, and I took a picture of it, and then, of course, the pictures never, ever, ever turn out. And I put it in Photoshop, and I adjusted the contrast, and I kind of got it. And then not more than a week had passed, and my wife picks up this book, and in the book is this. And I don't know if you can see it.
We can see his eyes, but can you get it a little closer? Maybe you can see the more details. Oh, that's a little better. Yeah, that's better.
All right. Okay. And so the back of it says, it's lonely out in space. And here's this guy in my hometown that draws and photographs aliens, ETs, with large opalescent eyes.
Yeah.
And he looks pretty dang big. I mean, look, that head is bigger than mine. That's big.
Well, talking about being lonely out there, though, just the other day, I was flying around learning how to film what they called a, oh gosh, wait a minute, because I kept going, it's a pod, but it's my own single one little sphere that, and what we found out on Terry's show, that it was actually an orb, that we are traveling in orbs. And I was working on all this stuff, and I was by myself in this orb, and it goes for short distances. And I can't remember what they kept telling me, because I kept saying, into the spaceship, and they're going, no, this is this. Susie, do you remember what it was that they told me it was? That I was traveling in that single pod, that single orb that I was in. Anyway, it was a big discovery that our higher selves and our ETs and our families travel in these orbs and show up. And that's what we're seeing in orbs, is those energies. Anyway, so when you were talking about that guy being lonely, I felt very lonely in that thing, because I was by myself, and it was the first time I'd been by myself, and I was having to figure out everything. And I'm sitting there going, what do I do? Oh, okay. And I don't live in a place like that. So I did feel very lonely, because I didn't have anybody to help me or to ask questions, which I've always had somebody there with me.
Yeah. Wow.
Actually, I was traveling from my spaceship to the Athena to help Susie. We were doing some kind of big plan, and it was a short distance, but I was not used to it.
Yeah. Interesting. Because when I read that, I go, lonely out in space. I go, I don't know, is it? So yeah, I guess so, if you're by yourself.
By yourself. Trying to figure out that whatever thing it is that I was traveling in.
Orb, that's interesting. So, I mean, there are people that are doing a lot more orb work in the community. And,
yeah, this was a big thing that Terry and I were talking about backstage, and brought it forward because I was telling her about this traveling, how I'd been working for 2 weeks on this little ship that I'm trying to figure out how to do. And I kept asking, I said, is it a Merkaba? No. Is it a pod? No. And I can't believe I can't remember what they told me it was. And then, so we were going into it, and to find out that it was actually an orb, that I was traveling in an orb, and that whenever I'm going to check on people, and she was feeling like I kind of was checking on her, that I show up as a bluish color or a lavender or pink periwinkle color. When she's traveling, she's showing up as yellow and white. And so you get to pick your color, your orb color, that you can present yourself as. So I just thought that was fascinating. I'm going to get more details about it, when we were on the show, the more details I came out about that it's actually also our higher selves going in, checking in on us, and which I thought, wow,
Checking in on us.
yeah, like your higher self comes in and checks on you, and they come show up in an orb, or your family might show up in orbs, or an ET that's your family show up in orbs. So
Well,
I just thought,
when my higher self comes to check up on myself, he better bring a gift.
he might be coming because you called him.
Yeah, check your pockets.
I better start.
Cool.
I better put some little gifts all inside of there.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
I was once in a cold, dark, dirty shed cleaning some stuff out, not mine. And when I was moving stuff, I kept seeing orbs moving around.
So what's the question?
I mean, were those the real deal?
Yeah.
In the shed. Was those a real deal in the shed? Were those orbs?
Well,
yes. Yeah.
They were just hiding out in there.
They could be, departed loved ones or
Any of that. No, Susie, you just finally could see them. That's what they're telling me. They're always there. You just finally could see them. I don't know what
I was on somebody else's property, and it was their shed. I was just going through stuff for them. So it was attached to me or attached to them?
No, you. It was attached to you. Yeah, it was attached to you, and it was just saying, and they're just saying that you finally were. You must have been doing something simple, which I'm getting a big yes on that. That your mind just went away, and just a repetitive something that your mind went away, and that you were able to see them. Is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically just taking pictures of the items in there for somebody.
So interesting. Anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, I would. I don't know if they were. Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about orbs. I used to have them in the beginning when I was doing, and now they hardly ever show up. I think I need to do some more thinking on what these orbs are and journeys. It really feels like they are transportation devices that can be used as that resonates really well with me.
Yeah, that's that's what mine was, as a transportation device.
But the ones that come around me, higher selves, departed loved ones, or
it's just some kind of spirit.
Yeah, and why they show up in a shed that you don't have anything to do with, really. Yeah, I don't know. They're showing me what she was doing was something repetitive. She's saying she's taking pictures, and her mind finally separated from her body where she could see it. They're showing me is that she finally just went to that place where she was able to see it. They've always been there. They've always been around her, and it's not like they just came into the shed. They've always been there. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Great. White Dragon. I want to know if the ETs use robotic beings or cyborgs to do some of the harder work about the ships, sort of like the little Greys do.
So if the ETs use robotic beings or cyborgs around the ships. Okay. I'm getting a yes, they do.
I'm
going, and I'm hearing they're saying, and y'all call it computers. So go ahead, Daddy. What were you going to say?
No, I gotta. I mean, this is going a little above what I normally do. But I heard yes that they do use robotic beings and cyborg, and would imagine that it is a type of computer. Yeah.
You pulling some cards on that?
Yep. I am right now. I think that they use them. I think they use the robotic beings and the cyborgs for the dangerous work where they may get damaged, because I got a coward card with them.
Yeah.
And it feels to me that they may not have the best relationship with them, is what I'm getting, but they use them for more of the dangerous work, and there's something though about it that is. I'm going to try to dig into what the conflict might be with them. Are you picking up any of that?
No, I'm just getting Hypnicity. I think it's one who's every corporation has different departments that handle different things, and I agree. When they're showing me that it's computers, I agree. I think it's different in each department, different on each spaceship. I think we just know more about the grays and I do too, because the grays, like when somebody needs a healing, I come also the medical, of course. They show me a tall white and two grays, and the two grays are more robotic, going by the tall white, and it's because they're able to come down to this dimension easier than the tall white. So they use these robotics for that part of it, on the medical, on healing. So I would think they would be using them on the spaceships, but that's the ones he's talking about. He's just wanting to know about other ones, if they're being used on harder jobs on the spaceship. But it would make sense that they would. I mean, if something's harder, and they can sit back and let a robot or do the harder work. I would think they would. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, and so I got that they're also there. There's something to do with health, something to do. So I got this sad card, and I go, what is it about the sad card where they have to use robotic beings or cyborgs? And it something to do with health, something to do with being too slow. And so I think the sadness, and maybe you can feel this out more.
Well, yeah, they lose them all the time because they go and do the dangerous work. So they'll burn up, but they're doing something. Yeah. That's probably what you're feeling. And
it's a resource that is expensive, whatever that means to them. Mm-hmm. It maybe takes a long time to build, or it's expensive, whatever. But
And I think some of them, not all of them, probably more on the hybrid side, you get attached to them because hybrids have all the mixed. And so I think that's
yeah.
So, and White Dragon said he knows he has them on his ship, the Bubo. So he has them. So anyway, and again, there's just so many different ships and so many different ETs and so many different situations. It's hard sometimes just to blanketly answer a question.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Lulu Bubble, what are the crystal keepers and what is their purpose?
No, that's a really deep one. Well, I don't know, Danny, but I immediately heard the Palladians. The crystal keepers are part of. They're showing me a part of the Palladians or the crystal keepers.
Mm-hmm.
And well, go ahead, Danny. I'd always so short and to the point, and I feel like sometimes I should be really elaborating. But that's the answer. They give me answers like that. That just like boom.
So it's you said Palladians.
They're-
I heard Lemurian. What's that?
They're part of the Palladians, which could be Lemurians, part
Yeah.
of them.
And I heard Lemurians. And what are the crystal keepers?
I've got this ET going, acting like Vanna White. Here they are. Here they are. Here are the crystals. Just show me around. I would have guessed this one. Wait, this one's acting. I would have guessed it would be Medical Mike, my ET hybrid, but no, it's not. Somebody who is funny. But it's showing me in the caves, and I think you're right, Danny. I think it's Lemurian caves, but there's something to do with the Palladians also.
Yeah, because I got the Palladian card, which would be holographic healing, and the crystals are certainly used for that. And to ask what do the crystal keepers do? I think it's a bridge. They're bridging 3D and higher realms together for some bigger opportunity. So there's a lot that can transform us through crystals. And even though I have a ton of crystals on my desk, I don't know what any of them do.
Well, I don't either, but they tell me when I'm doing the healing show that they tell me which crystal to use. So I don't have to figure it out. I just
well, you're lucky.
And they probably do that to you, Danny, too, if you just ask.
Which one do I need?
Well, actually, mine is which one do I need to heal this person? Yeah. Is that what they told you? That's what you need? Or you just
well, actually, the very first impulse was this, which is just a little wand.
Yeah.
So magic happens.
There you go. Magic happens. That's your crystal.
There it is.
For this moment. So,
yeah.
Okay. I hope, Lulu, I hope we answered your question.
Okay, from Purette White. When a female is used for their eggs, is it the same that they use the males in the family to make babies?
Is it the same that they?
No, yeah, they use the sperm from the men too. When a female is used for their eggs, is it the same that they use the males in the family to make babies? Yeah, I mean, they use the female's eggs and they use the sperm of the males also to make babies. And usually they bring the women up to see their children. And some men, I don't hear all the men going up and seeing their children, but some men do get to go and see their hybrid children. But yeah, they're used the same. Anything on that?
Yeah, it's just pretty funny, the cards that I pulled on it. So yeah, I am agreeing with you, and it's for diversity and union. It's for love. And then when you were saying, and then they take off, and it's, for the future, for their future. Yeah, so I just liked it. And then I did get every drop in the ocean from the male's point of view. So
That's right. Yes.
yes.
Okay. All right. Next.
And they do have a contract.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They do have a contract. And again, I think that is part of your higher self that's up there that's actually saying, oh, yeah, I agreed to that. Yeah. Go ahead and get her eggs. Go ahead and get his sperm. We're supposed to be putting these together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Junosphere. Do ETs emit any odor, or are they attracted or repelled by any aromas?
Well, that's what the crystal is for, to rub it under the ET armpit.
You're just assuming that's where they smell from.
This is shaped the right way, isn't it?
Yes, you're right. So yeah, but this is for your heart. So they don't smell on their heart, do they? On their heart? No.
No, but their bodies do. But actually, some of them do really stink to us, but they really do smell. But it goes the other way around. We are considered very
Selenite.
smelling to them. And so the answer is yes, Judo. Some of them we don't like each other's smell. So yeah, and a lot of times
like cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of times when we go up on their spaceships, first thing they do is make a shower. It's not only our physical shower, is they're changing our energy to go into the spaceship, and interacting with everybody. And we have to put on a uniform. So a lot of that is, trying to not smell as much, I guess. I'm not sure about that, but some of them do. I have come across, the first thing I would do was holding my nose. Oh my gosh, yes. And they were doing the same.
And do they say, "Oh, you're so human"? No.
No, because they're holding their nose too, because I stink to them.
I liked the analogy that you said with, they take a shower inside and out, and like they're changing their vibration a little bit. When we have a really crappy attitude or a stinky disposition, we need to take a shower, but it's really raising our vibration to a higher level so that we don't smell as much. So
yeah,
I like that.
And there's a lot to that. I mean, because we can't take the things like, they can recognize, like if we had a fight with somebody and we can put on a face, like, oh, like that didn't happen. Well, they feel it all over us. I mean, it's almost like we're still screaming at them because that's still all over us. That energy still all over us. We can do that to another human and get away with it, but you can't do it to them because they're coming from their heart. They're feeling it. They're seeing it, and you just can't get away. So we have to have an energetic wash before we go in. Okay. All right. Okay.
Amanda Carroll, if we were working on the ships like the Athena, do we bring our earthly or spiritual gifts into play there?
Yes. That's definitely yes. And I think a lot of that goes the other way. It's the gifts that you're learning up there, you're taking it to Earth. I think it's more that way than it is the other way. So that is it. You're actually taking your gifts and things that you're learning up there and bringing it to Earth. All right, Danny?
Yeah, well, yeah. But I do see it as reciprocal. I mean, that you are bringing your earthly gifts up there, and the spiritualness of you.
I was going to say the human of you.
The human of you, right? And as long as you're a spiritual human and not a lower level human, because they don't want any part of the lower level human, but the higher spiritual, the more spiritual you are, whatever that is, for me, it's the more in touch with the earth you are. They can actually feed off of that a little bit too, because they don't have that.
Right. And they're fascinated by it, even though they tease me about it all the time. They are fascinated by being here. Okay, let's take this one last question.
Dave, Annie Bear. I was trying to understand this. We will transform with Mother. How about our wings and shields?
Huh. I'm not real sure how to even answer or dissect that question. How about our wings and shields? Danny, do you have anywhere to go on that?
Is she talking about transform with Mother Earth?
I'm thinking, yes, she's talking about transforming with Mother Earth. I've got that part.
It's about the wings and shields. Is she talking about elementals?
I'm not sure about that part of it. Annie Bear, are you in the chat? Can you tell us what you mean about our wings and shields for transmuting Bear here. Can you give us a little more? Because we're not real sure where to go. I'm going to go say, I'm assuming you'll transform with your wings and shields. If you have them, let me just ask that question just like it is and see what they say. Maybe our human minds are getting involved in this. And I'm getting a yes. How about our wings and shields? I'm just getting a yes. That's all I'm getting on that. But anyway, if you can give us a little more information on what you mean about that. Yeah, Holly, she can mean angels, because that's the first thing I got too was angels. But I'm wondering if she's talking about she's an angel here on Earth, and she wants to know if she's going to be going back with her wings and shields.
Oh yeah.
Now, see, when you get your wings, they don't take them away, do they? Now, I can't imagine they would. I just, Andy Bear must not be here anymore in the chat, so we can't get any more details. So that's all I'm going to say, Danny. What can you say?
I think I get a big yes with that. And I'm not quite sure, if she's meaning angels or whatever. I did get a card with wings on it though. I think that once our job here is done, we're gonna let go of the restriction. We're gonna find the wealth and abundance in a new place with our wings, and it's part of the contract.
All right. Well, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, everybody in the chat, the moderators. Thanks for all y'all's help. And any last words, Danny, before we go?
I don't. This has been fun.
Yes, but it always is. All right.
It's a little stretch for me, but it's good.
It's good. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you Saturday. Right, Susie? Saturday at 9 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time, 12 o'clock Eastern time. 12 o'clock Eastern time. And who is this? Spirit. Sherry.
Dancing with Spirit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.